Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Surge. I'm Director of Operations Steve Dalton with Donnie Harris Jr. Walk us through this week's episode.
Well, Steve, we have two big matchups on this episode of CCW Surge. First, we have Miles Blackwell going one-on-one with the metalhead Paul Roberts. Of course, fans, you may know Miles Blackwell has a big matchup against the Machine Bryce Maddox for the Southern States title, a belt that Miles stole from the Machine. Now the contract is signed, the match is official, but the Machine cannot lay his hands on Miles until WrestleBash on August 27th. That is a fact that Miles knows very well and has been abusing, as you'll see has happened in this match. Cameraman, let's go back to Stomping Ground Studios as Miles Blackwell took on Paul Roberts.
The self-proclaimed CCW Southern States Champion Miles Blackwell is in action, going one-on-one against the metalhead Paul Roberts. We are just a few weeks away from Blackwell going up against the Machine Bryce Maddox in a 2 out of 3 falls match at WrestleBash 31 for the Southern States Championship. But first, he must get by the fan favorite Paul Roberts. Looks like we're going to get a test of strength here in the early goings of tonight's contest. But no, Paul Roberts just wants to rock. But he eats a slap out of the Violent Gentleman. But the metalhead was not taken too kindly to that. Drops the legs across the sternum, follows up with a drop kick. Could he be getting the early upset here? Blackwell kicks out with the 1 count, but he had to be surprised by what he just saw out of the metalhead. Blackwell reverses the Irish whip, connects with a kick of his own, going for the pin. But, as always, the cockiness of Blackwell lifting Roberts off the mat. Could have ended it right there if he wanted to. Now driving down the elbows repeatedly across the chest. We have always known Miles Blackwell to be the Violent Gentleman. But as he gears up for his match against Bryce Maddox, he is showing a new, even more vicious side of himself. He continues to show that with repeated kicks in the corner. Miles Blackwell, possibly the best striker in CCW, and adding to his repertoire with a beautiful suplex. A cocky pin will not be enough to put away somebody with the resilience of Paul Roberts.
You're not walking out too much now, are you? Let go of the hair, Miles. For what?
Blackwell, of course, stole the CCW Southern States Championship from Bryce Maddox at Stampede 31 and may have just knocked out Paul Roberts with that vicious clothesline. The metalhead won't be doing very much headbanging anytime soon after that. Now picks him up and slams him down into the mat and follows it up with an elbow straight to the sternum. Once again, a lackadaisical cover allows Paul Roberts to kick out. It's going to take a lot more than that to put away Paul Roberts. He may not have a lot of success in the win-loss column, but nobody fights with as much heart as he does. Roberts sent into the corner, evades the attack. Roberts with the drop kick. Paul Roberts is rocking and rolling right now, turning it up to 11, making Miles Blackwell feel thunderstruck with that and nearly pulls off the upset. We have to think if Paul Roberts is able to knock off Miles Blackwell tonight, that'll catapult him straight into Southern States Championship contention. And I'm sure this match is going a lot longer than what Miles Blackwell was hoping for, wanting to remain fresh ahead of WrestleBash 31, taking place August 27th in Jacksonville, Florida, where he will go one-on-one with the Machine Bryce Maddox in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Southern States Championship. Blackwell able to power his way out of that headlock, evades. Oh, it might be lights out for the metalhead. Devastating headbutt out of the Violent Gentleman, Miles Blackwell.
I wouldn't expect you to.
And we know what that's the prelude to. Here it comes. It is the Symphony of Violence connects. And it is elementary at this point. Miles Blackwell victorious, entering WrestleBash 31.
The winner of this match, the Violent Gentleman, Miles Blackwell.
And although he may not currently be the Southern States Championship, no matter what he says, if we see that outcome at WrestleBash 31, he will be the rightful owner of the Southern States title. And now, unceremoniously kicking the metalhead out of the ring, who put up a great fight against Blackwell.
Yeah, you tried your best, didn't you? Get out of here. As you all know, we're approaching WrestleBash season, correct? Oh, that's right, you guys are stupid. You don't know what's going on.
Excuse you?
You're stupid. You don't know what's going on. Would you like me to use smaller words for you?
Look who's talking, Lester.
I don't have the time or the cramps to explain it to you, so give me a moment, all right? Now, as you all know, WrestleBash, August 27th, right here in this crap hotel in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to be facing Bryce Maddox. Now, everyone's been talking about how I took his Southern States title. Who came out here with the title on? Was it me? Because I believe I came out here with the title on. Everybody's been talking about, well, shut up, nobody's here for you. That's why I've got a microphone and you don't.
And yet I'm still louder than you without it. Thank you.
And still no one cares. Now, like I said, Bryce cannot touch me leading up to the match. Now, having said that, everyone's been talking about how I took his title. Let's talk about what I've given. Bryce, I've given you purpose. And this is what I mean. Until I came along, you were just a good guy that slapped hands with ugly people like this out there, high-fived some ugly little children. He gets it, right? And you had no purpose. I made you relevant, Bryce. I made you relevant. Now here's the thing, we know that you went to Jacksonville University. Y'all give it up for Jacksonville University. Here's the thing, nobody cared about that school, and that's why that football program got shut down, which meant you had an excuse to fall back on for your failures.
Oh, come on. Thankfully, here comes Bryce Maddox to shut up the Violent Gentleman. But he cannot make contact with Blackwell. If he touches Blackwell before August 27th, then Bryce Maddox forfeits both the match and the Southern States title. Be smart, Bryce. Be smart.
It doesn't matter if you're mad. Right here for 3 seconds.
It's best for you. You're going to get out of here before I get my hands on you on August 27th. When I get my hands on you on August 27th. You think it's a good idea to get me mad, Miles? You think it's a good idea to poke me? You get out of here. I'm going to see you on August 27th before I break this contract right now.
It won't be worth it.
Miles Blackwell continuing to poke the bear that is Bryce Maddox. I'm not sure how smart that is, but it is bringing out the rage in the machine. And at WrestleBash 31, will the machine finally get his Southern States title back around his waist?
Miles Blackwell getting the victory over Paul Roberts and then calling out defending Southern States champion Bryce Maddox and taunting him repeatedly. You know, just throwing temptation out there to lay his hands on him and do some damage, in which case the match would not take place and the belt, I believe, would just reverted to Miles. But as even though the machine Bryce Maddox is itching like a man that squatted in poison ivy, he resisted temptation, and the match is still on, Steve.
Now let's take us to our next match for the Collect the Bounty TV title. Toxic versus the authentic one, Brien Adam.
The television Collect the Bounty Championship is on the line as Toxic defends against the relative newcomer to CCW, the authentic one, Brien Adam. Toxic has been nearly unstoppable since returning to his toxic persona earlier this year and has been on a path of destruction for months now. Tie up in the center of the ring to get this championship contest underway. And Adam able to get the side headlock on the veteran Toxic. Toxic, no, is unable to break the headlock. Adam showing off that strength. We see he's got muscles on top of muscles and is able to muscle over Toxic. Toxic using that experience to be able to float over and get a quick 2-fall, but Adam does not let go of that headlock. But Toxic is not one to play by the rules, gouging out the eyes. Toxic with repeated shots in the corner. These are the tactics that have led him to great success here in CCW. He has held every championship there is to hold and hopes to regain the CCW Heavyweight Championship in the main event of WrestleBash 31 when he challenges Darian Drummond in a champion versus champion match as he continues to control the action against the Authentic One. Connects with the clothesline. Toxic reveling in the destruction that he's caused so far to the Authentic One. Another boot to the back of the head. And although Toxic is one of the most demented wrestlers in Continental Championship Wrestling, he is an accomplished mat technician as well and knows exactly how to break apart his opponent, and he may have just snapped Adam's shoulder right out of the socket. The Authentic One trying to get back to his feet, but we see that the damage has been done. Misses with the clothesline this time. And Brien Adam fires back with a clothesline of his own. But we see every time that Toxic gets in trouble, he understands how to use the ringside area to his advantage, taking the time, using the referee's 10 count as a de facto timeout. Got in just long enough to break the 10 count and has a new fresh 10 count to play with. And to be fair, I don't think I would want to get in the ring with somebody with the size, the strength, and the tenacity of the Authentic One, Brien Adam.
Get back in the ring. You ready?
I don't know what Toxic could be thinking going for a test of strength against Brien Adam. Do you see the muscles he has?
Yeah.
Oh, we should have known this was a trick Toxic was going to play, raking his razor-sharp mohawk straight into the eyes of the Authentic One. Sending Adam corner to corner. Charging in, but Adam able to evade the attack. And is now taking over control himself. Firing her way in the corner, Brien Adam in full control over Toxic in this television Collect the Bounty Championship match. Toxic woozy on his feet at this point. Adam firing off against the rope, misses with the clothesline. Toxic up and down into the mat. And uses his veteran ability to reset the pace of this match and focusing back on that left arm of the Authentic One. Ooh! Devastating chop in the corner, lighting up the chest. Toxic mixes with the clothesline. This is with another clothesline. Adam comes in, but eats that one right across the jaw. Toxic could have had opportunity for a pin there, but instead deciding to continue the decimation. And that may have been a mistake as Brien Adam takes him over with the snapmare. And a beautiful elbow right to the sternum. Nearly pulls off the upset, driving that point of the elbow straight into Toxic.
Falcon 3.
Brien Adam trying to remain in control of this contest. What a victory this would be, not only claiming the Television Collect the Bounty Championship, but you have to think, if he knocks off Toxic with that beautiful splash, he'll be next in line for a heavyweight championship contest. Going for the pin, going for the upset! Toxic kicks out at 2. Brien Adam, early in his career here, going against one of the best CCW has to offer, more than holding his own against the atomic antagonist, Toxic. Toxic can, just like that, can reverse the tide. Deceptively quick. And connects with the clothesline, but look who is coming out for a ringside view of this contest. Heavyweight champion Darian Drummond wants to see what Toxic is all about.
You better get on her before you get up. Go ahead, homeboy. Go ahead.
On August the 27th, these two will meet in the main event of WrestleBash 31 for the CCW Heavyweight Championship. Toxic lifting up Brien Adam.
He's strong.
And driving him down with the reactor meltdown. Toxic staring into the soul of Darian Drummond as he makes that pin, sending a clear message to the CCW Heavyweight Champion. Drummond, of course, earned his second reign as the CCW champion by knocking off Toxic late last year. And this is the first time these two have been in the ring since then. And staring face to face, just weeks away from WrestleBash 31. Champion versus champion. Toxic versus Darian Drummond for the CCW Heavyweight Championship. The two are drawing the battle line. And August 27th at WrestleBash 31, they will go to war for the richest prize in CCW. Who will walk out with the gold? Champion versus champion. Toxic versus Darian Drummond. But for now, Toxic can celebrate, adding even more money to his bounty as he successfully defended the CCW Television Collect the Bounty Championship.
The atomic antagonist Toxic defending the TV Collect the Bounty Championship. His bounty now going up to $2,000. And there you saw the man that Toxic will face in the main event of WrestleBash coming out and taunting him. That man being World Heavyweight Champion Darian Drummond. And Steve, speaking of the heavyweight champion, a little while back we heard some words from him, and he was worried about the Machine Bryce Maddox. Of course, in addition to being the Southern States champion, Bryce Maddox holds the ruler of the ring policy, which, if I'm correct, states anywhere, anytime he can challenge for any title, provided there's a ring, the champion's there, and a referee is there.
That is correct. And last night we actually met with the CCW Southern States champion, the Machine Bryce Maddox. Let's see what he had to say.
Miles Blackwell, WrestleBash is approaching. Your time is coming. You cannot run any longer. But let me change directions for a second. Drummond, I see that you're a little concerned that I have this Ruler of the Ring contract, and I don't know if you're worried that I'm going to wait till the end of your match when you're tired and you're beat down for me to cash in. I promise you, you don't have to worry about that with me. I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man of character. So at WrestleBash, when I cash that contract in, you better believe that it's going to be at the beginning of that match. I'm going at the beginning of that main event, and it's going to be a triple threat for the CCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Words from the Machine Bryce Maddox being crystal clear, except for a minor smudge on the glass there, Steve. Could this possibly mean we have a three-way at WrestleBash 31?
I will say, as Director of Operations, nothing has came across my desk, but that you are correct. There could be a three-way dance for the CCW World Heavyweight Championship come August 27th at Wrestle Bash. As soon as this taping is over, I will contact the machine myself for clarification.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have on this edition of CCW Surge. Be sure to check us out on all social medias, and be sure to check out our website, ccwrestling.biz. For everyone here at Stomping Ground Studios, I'm Donnie Harris Jr., he's Steve Dalton. We'll see you next time.